How you doing, everyone? It's Tim out of outstandingpoker.com. This is part 3 of my latest series on how to think like a pro, where we're going into detail of a lot of good post-flop situations and hopefully get you guys thinking along the right path of how to analyze certain hands and some hand reading and barreling opportunities and that sort of thing. So I'm going to continue on. If you haven't watched part 1 or 2 yet, I'd advise doing that first just so you get some reads. But otherwise, continue on here, and I think you probably will remember some of the same characters that we've dealt with in the first couple parts of the series. So I'm going to dive right in here. I think if you remember back to the ending in part 2, we just triple barreled Zico with the nut flush, and he folded on the river. And I was talking about potentially if I didn't have the nut flush, say I was on a draw with just the ace of hearts, and how I would have played pretty much the same. I want to keep those type of situations in mind, thinking about different lines you can take, whether you're going for value or whether you're going taking a line as a bluff. So diving right in here, it's pretty standard open top left with ace king suited. Hopefully my splashy image will start to pay off, and that's what you're always hoping for. Same thing here in bottom right. And that'll help you get a lot of action compared to a guy like Bluff for Food, who is a very nitty guy. Now, this is pretty interesting. We get 4-bet. Now, I'm not sure. It seems I always want to keep in mind what my image is at that certain table. It looks like I'm with I Bluff for Food at 2, 3. Yeah, so this guy's playing quite a few tables. And these nitty guys, like 16, 14, so he's just like a super nit. And we've classified a good discussion in the first video of this series about the 3 different player types you'll experience at the micro stakes: the nits, the maniacs, and the tag regulars. So this guy would fall into the nitty classification, which means he's just playing his 2 cards. He's not really making too many moves or getting out of line or doing anything crazy. They usually mass multi-table because they're never put in any real difficult decisions, right? Like they're just folding 85% of the time and just waiting for premium hand and then autopilot. They're very easy to exploit, but like you're not going to get a lot of money from them because they're just folding. The real value from the nits comes from just the fact that they're dumping blinds in every orbit and not doing anything, and you can just effectively steal the blinds. So a lot of times when the money gets in, it's like a cooler type situation, or you can also exploit them when you sense weakness on their part because they hate getting all in without the nuts, right? So if you notice that he's check calling, you can sometimes put pressure on him, get him to fold, and a lot of that will require having position on him. It's just such an advantage, knowing having that extra information on each street about how they're reacting or like when they're not check raising. And actually, this brings up an interesting point about the nits and the tags. The sort of uncreative nit and tag regular, their biggest nightmare in online poker is getting sucked out on. And I mean, you probably will have that same feeling yourself.